Okay, we'll start with Michael.
I'm not asking you to comment about the officiating per se, but did you like how that game was officiated from a cornerback standpoint? It seemed like they were letting everybody play.
Yeah. I mean, I think any coach would, when asked a question like that, would say, as long as your guys aren't getting flagged, I wouldn't say there's anything out there specifically that I seen that, I felt went the other way or, went our way. So.
Chip, in terms of Sicario, obviously Big 12 Player of the Week defensively, National Player of the Week. How did you grade the overall his performance in terms of the plays he made, fourth downs in the end zone versus the plays he gave up in space?
We have a very, very, very high standard in our room. Expectations are high all the time. Obviously, congratulate him on the accolades and things of that nature, but always looking for, ways to improve and get better. But I always tell my guys there's plays that, routine plays that you're supposed to make, and we expect you to make them. We'll congratulate you and move on. I'm just proud of the way that he responded, given some of the early adversity, as some would say, or, as some people expressed. But just the way he battled back, right? Playing that position like that, you got to battle, and it's not always going to be pretty, but he battled back, and we're very, very proud of, what he put out by the end of it.
What do you want to see from him in terms of how to be better in between the 20s and maybe not give up as many, passes as he did in that particular game?
I wouldn't say it's necessarily, something that we don't want him to do as much as we want him to be, part of that 11 when he's out there and getting involved in the game any way that he can, right? There's going to be games when you get targeted a lot, and then there will be games where you won't, but find other ways to, get involved in the game. If it's just covering your guy and you get no targets all game, we're good with that, right? Or if it's playing over a tight end and fitting the run on a 230-pound back, right? And he'll tell you he came here to play defensive back, not just cover corner, and so that's what's expected of him. So,
Chip, how unique is this Texas Tech offense in that they throw the ball a lot and they're going to be flooding the zone with a bunch of guys, but they also have the leading receiver in the conference where you have to devote some guys to making sure that there's enough in the box. What does that do to the secondary?
A very, very unique offense, very explosive, some really good receivers out on the perimeter, a really good quarterback who's experienced, and a really, really good running back. It's going to present its challenges like any offense. The thing that we're preaching to our guys is going out and having attention to detail, doing the things that we've asked them to do, within our scheme and within our defensive calls, and just, being the best they can be, man, on each play.
Coach Brennan was talking about how length can be very disruptive for receivers. Do you coach the taller guys any differently, or have any points of emphasis for them? How do you get them to use the God-given gifts that they have to their best?
Obviously, when you have a taller guy versus a smaller or shorter guy in stature, there are some limitations that, a taller guy may have that a shorter guy doesn't, and vice versa. Just getting them to understand their strengths and their weaknesses, and getting them to accept both, right, and play within their skill set. But absolutely, how I coach one guy to the next is definitely different, no matter the stature. So,
Justin, that second fourth down stop where Sicario had the pass breakup, how did that play kind of set the tone for the rest of the defense, the rest of the game?
I'm gonna be honest with you. There were a lot of plays out there that set the tone. I know you're asking about Sicario. Obviously, the fourth down stops. Anytime you get a fourth down stop, it's huge for the team and the morale, right? But man, there's a lot of plays. The play that comes to my mind is the first one with Traden Stukes out there. That room, as connected as we are, when you have a, senior leader like Stooks make a play like that, it just kind of charged up the rest of them, right? And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm one of those guys, you get so lost in the game, I didn't even realize it was fourth down. Just your guys are out there, they're playing hard and they're making plays, and you're kind of sad that it's over, right? But they're running off. I'm like, oh, we're off the field, So and that's what I mean when I say they become routine plays, and it doesn't matter the down, right? Put the ball down, let's play.
And then you're a Fresno native. Wondering what's your connection to Robert Golden?
Robert Golden,
Yeah.
It's my guy, man. So Robert and I played in the same secondary for the late great Tony Perry, in Fresno, California. We were both, high school teammates. I got moved to safety to play safety, and he played corner my last year because Rob could just shut down one side of the field, and I knew how to fit the box in the run, and so man, that's one of my best friends. We keep in touch. He's like a brother to me. Really proud of him and what he he did for this university, on into the NFL, and what he's doing now back in our hometown and our community with the Golden Charter Academy, and he's Rob's awesome. Rob's awesome, man. And there's a ton of stories I could tell you offline about my recruitment and the process. I'll tell you this. I was very close to being a Wildcat. And when Rob came to school here, as most freshmen do, he was having some hard times, and Rob and I talked a lot. And the one thing that I remember him saying to me when we were both playing is the people here, this place, the school, and how much he loved it. And when I got the job and got a call from him, he said those same words to me. And, being here in the short time I've been here, I can attest to that too now.
Emmanuel got his first career start against Utah. When it became apparent or possible that was going to be the case, what was your advice to him? And then secondarily, what did you think of his performance?
It's your time. You're up. Let's go. We believe in you. This is what we've been training for. This is what I've been telling you since I got here. Just because you're not the guy on paper or you're not the guy when the ball rolls out there first doesn't mean you can't prepare and you can't be ready. The one thing I can tell you from playing and coaching this game is your number's going to get called. And Emmanuel's number got called, and he was ready, and he answered the call. I thought he went out and he gave us his all. The one thing I told him, night of the game, take a deep breath, man, and enjoy it. They're going to make some plays, but so are you. Just keep fighting, keep battling, and we got your back. So really proud of him, the way he showed up to play Saturday.
Right. I asked Sicario about the personal fouls he had in the first game, and he said he was thinking too much. How do you balance the emotions that come with that position in the one-on-one battles and keep it from spilling over like that?
Absolutely. This is an emotional game. And I tell my guys all the time, I question the guy that plays with no emotion. But in respects to the game, it can never become personal or overarching to where it takes away from yourself as well as the game and your team, right? We preach playing with an edge, right? But there, in respects to the game, right, there are things that you can and cannot do. And he understands that, but bottle of energy, I want to tell you to calm down. I don't want to tell you to go. So we talked it out, and we got an understanding, and he gets it. So.
Coach Baber said yesterday that game win at Utah wasn't just like any other game. It was kind of a big deal in his mind. How do you reflect on that? What were you thinking and feeling as you were leaving the field on the plane home?
For me personally, and not just personally, I wouldn't speak for anyone else, but I talked to, my group specifically prior to the game about the type of game this was going to be, and what they could expect, having played there before and knowing the atmosphere. But I told him, you know, it's going to be a tough one, all right, and we knew that going in. But I felt like the sooner we could accept that as a unit, as a defense, as a team, we could get past, you know, everything else. Didn't matter what jersey or what time we played. At some point, a whistle was going to be blown, and the football game would have to be played. But walking away from that, I call that a character win, all right? Where everything's against you, everyone's against you, everyone counts you out, and you go out and you weather that. I think anytime you can, you know, coin a victory as such, it's important that you point those things out. You know, as we all know, that it doesn't always go as we all plan it, right? If we just put 50 up and they score no points, we win the game, of course. All right, it's the games when it's tough. It's the games when you have to fight. It's the games when the calls don't go your way, when you got to play a fourth down even though they're supposed to punt it, right? But you just play the game. And felt we did that, and so most definitely left there thinking this is a character win for our program.
All right, that's our time.
Thank you, guys.